High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including
OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Not that you should have needed any convincing or evidence or validation about how good the Stanley Cup playoffs are and how no lead is safe. And wow, a team's up 7-3. 7-3 after two periods. What the hell? 7-3 in a hockey game? No lead is safe, boys and girls. That was a hell of a watch, unless you're a fan of one of those two teams, because if you're an Oilers fan, you came away almost. And if you're an Avs fan, got any nails left? How's your stomach? It's the opening drive. Good morning to you. Avs hold on and win game one of the Western Conference Final. 8-6 in a battle of backup goaltenders. It was 7-3 after two periods, and the Oilers made it very, very, very interesting. But your home team holds on. Good morning. How are you?
What'd it do?
You okay with all that? Like how do you feel watching that? 7-3, you're feeling nice, aren't you?
You're feeling good, but you realize what you're watching is teams that can't win a Stanley Cup.
Because they don't play defense, is what Wayne Gretzky told me?
And that's, I think, the hardest thing about this series is it's going to be wild, it's going to be fun. Goaltending's terrible.
It's a hell of a watch, though.
Like, I don't know how Mike Smith got the Oilers to this position. Like, Darcy Kemper,
who's out
now due to injury, has really faltered over the last series and into the game before he left due to an upper body injury yesterday. It's an amazing watch. Told you to take the over yesterday. Hopefully you did. If you just put some money down on the playoffs. You got great offense, great puck movement, terrible goaltending.
Pavel Francouz came up big when he needed to at the end. Two big saves right on the doorstep right before the empty net goal. JJ, it's a hell of a watch. And it's funny because intermission and Wayne Gretzky, when Wayne Gretzky talks, you listen, right? And Wayne Gretzky's on set as one of the analysts on is it TNT, TBS, whatever I was watching on, I guess TNT. And he says, I'd love to play in one of these, but you can't win a cup like this. Somebody's got to play defense. You got to play defense. Like, it would have been funny. And he said, like, I'm probably I love when a guy says this, and it didn't even sound arrogant. He's like, I'm probably the greatest offensive player ever. Did you hear him say that? He's like I'm and when your name's the great one, I guess you can get away with saying that. And he's right, by the way. But he says, even I'll tell you, I mean, you can't win like this. Somebody's got to play defense. They played defense when they needed to. They held off on 7-6. Can you win? Who's the better goaltender left? Is it Francouz? If Kemper's out,
Francois.
All right. Is that what it was? I thought it was taller than Francouz. I'll go with Francois. I'll go with that. Is Francois the better goaltender? I thought I called him Francouz all night.
Well, it shouldn't be Francouz.
Right. Is Francois the better goaltender? The backup goaltender for the Avalanche?
I thought the best goaltender was the backup that came in for the Oilers.
Yeah.
It's not Mike Smith.
That's crazy. It was a fun watch. It was a fun watch. 1-0. Colorado was up in the Western Conference Finals over Edmonton. Catch them if you can, because wow, that was a hell of a watch last night. Good morning to you. How you living, by the way? You good?
We good.
All right. What's up over there? You all right? Amory's producing radio. Adrian on the TV side.
Doing great.
All right. I know Adrian's there because I got my good morning text this morning. I got just get a GM, which is cool. I appreciate that. I never see him. Do you see him on your monitor?
We never see him anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't like to show his face anymore on the monitor. But he produces. You can watch on Comcast Channel 26, wherever you are around the city. If you have Comcast, of course, on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. Guest list today from ProView Network, Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people, 8:30 this morning. Talk about Gladiators, because he's also the voice of the Gladiators. A big win for them over San Diego last weekend, and they're back home this coming weekend. And then 9:30, we'll talk NCAA track and field championships. Jovan Williamson, who's qualified for the University of New Mexico in the 400 meters, the 4x100 meters is going to be, or 4x400 is going to be with us. So we'll talk some UNM track as we get into it. NBA Finals getting set to go. Tomorrow's a big day, JJ, for those who are still in the draft. Lobos will know tomorrow, right? What Jalen House is going to do.
They'll know by 10 o'clock tonight.
By 10 o'clock? Is it 10 o'clock tonight?
Yeah.
So today's a big day.
9:59.
Or tonight's a big night. Do you think I mean, I kind of think they know. I think they know. And the only reason I say that is last time Richard Pitino was on with us, when he was kind of going through, and this was right after the signings of the two big guys, he kind of went through his lineup, and he said Jalen House so matter-of-factly that it wasn't, if Jalen comes back, it wasn't, we're hoping Jalen's back. It was, we'll have House and Mashburn back. And that made me think, okay, that's kind of where this is going, and maybe he knows something. Did you get that feel?
I got that feel because right now Jalen House,
I haven't seen him on any board.
no, if he wants to make money playing basketball somewhere,
He can do
he
that.
can. I do not believe it's going to be in the NBA next season.
Do you believe if
The
he
drafted player.
So if he sticks around, plays another year, and they've got a team around him, and Jalen gets better, bigger, right? Do you think that helps his draft? I think that's going to probably be part of the conversation, won't it? Is another year of college going to help his draft stock? Will it give him a better chance of becoming an NBA draftable player?
If you have a conference player of the year type season, yes. I think for Jalen House, the biggest thing is consistency with 3-point shot. And if teams see you can just be a true point guard. Because he's going to be a dude that just has to be a true point guard. And if he hit threes, that's a bonus. Because the way he attacks the basket in college, that's just not going to translate to the NBA. He's not getting taller.
Yeah. He was not getting taller, and he can get bigger. Not taller. He can get bigger, thicker, right? Stronger. And that was something that Richard Pitino. I go back. I think of this every once in a while when I think about the bigger thing. So I go back to Vegas. That Wednesday that they got knocked out of the tournament in the first round by Nevada, and I remember him and Jamal Mashburn sitting next to Pitino on the stage. And you've been in those rooms before, right? The big press gathering. And I remember when Pitino talked about, in the offseason, somebody, and probably Jeff asked him, what would he do? And he talked about the weight room. And I remember Mashburn and Jalen House looking at each other and kind of laughing and shaking their heads. And, there was obviously something going on there when Pitino talked about the weight room. And I know they'd heard about it, and I don't know what it meant, but I harken back to that quite often when I hear about the weight room, and I think about Jalen. I mean, he has a small frame. And to your point, I mean, he's never going to be a huge dude. He's not getting any taller. But for him to play at the level at which he wants to play, I think he's got to get thicker.
It's also a balance.
Well, I'm
Because-
not saying huge.
No, but that is hard to do because these guys' game is it's quickness and athleticism.
Yeah.
And they're in good shape. Like they're already
You
in
say
really
it's not
good
good
shape.
shape.
I know, but it's really hard to do. It's easy to say, but it's that balance of all right, how many squats am I going to sit there and do all season long versus
How many shots am I going to put up?
just the athleticism, the quickness is his game.
So let me ask you this. How many, I think of one, I think of Trae Young, players in the NBA that have his frame, that have had a lot of success. You could tell me Steph Curry, but I would tell you Steph got a little thicker when he got into the league, right? From the if you look at body type. How many guys that look like him? So what is he, 6'1"?
Mhm.
$160? How many of him are now, just because there's not doesn't mean there can't be.
No.
I understand that. But how many of him are killing it in the NBA? I mean, Trae Young kind of looks like him, right?
Trae Young is the Jalen House
Yeah.
type.
Can you think of many more?
Yeah.
It's a tough putt,
Yeah.
right?
But the thing with Trae Young is
He's a sick shooter.
yeah, and Jalen was a 31% 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
last
he's
year.
not bad. No, I'm not comparing him other than body type.
But that's why Young can survive differently.
Right. So we'll learn today, or tonight, or at some point by tomorrow morning we should know whether or not Jalen House is coming back to UNM or going to to leave his name in the NBA draft. My gut would tell me he's coming back. But if not, then there'll be another scholarship open, and you've got Jamal Mashburn and Donovan Dent and KJ Jenkins, and you still have a pretty good backcourt. So we'll see. And there's a number of names that are still in there. Is David Roddy's name still in there? Is he still kind of on the cusp of potential coming back?
Big one that's going to make a decision by tonight. Outstanding forward from Colorado State, and you look at Jalen House too. There's a player that he reminds me of. It's not Trae Young. It's nothing like that. It's Jose Alvarado. He's a guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. He played 4 years at Georgia Tech. He was a rookie this past season. He was 24 years old last year, 23 when he got into the league. And for Jalen House, he's 21. He's on the quote-unquote older side when it comes to draftable players. So there's a path for these guys that are fringe, that don't have necessarily a lot of first-round traits to still play in college and get their opportunity. And that's who I equate Jalen House to.
I think it's good. I think it's really good. Is he there yet? Or is he on his way to being there?
And I think he can. Right now he's a dude that can make money playing professional basketball. I don't think he'd be on an NBA team. But you come back, you have first team all conference type of year. Maybe your name is floated in player of the year discussions, and you're on the radar.
Yeah, I guess the conversation that you have, I would imagine, with your family. What do you want to do? What's the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is to be in the NBA, right? Okay. Probably not getting drafted, and I'm sure that's the feedback that he's gotten through everything he's done. All right, you're probably not getting drafted. So what's the better path to the NBA? Is it go back and have another year at New Mexico and have, to your point, a conference player of the year type of a year, play with Jamal Mashburn? You've got a team around you now. Go to the G League, go overseas. What's your better option? Because obviously this is a path to the NBA. And I don't know that I have the exact answer for you. It feels like the most traditional path would be to go back to college. But I know that we're not in a traditional era. And you know, does he want to go to school? Does he? I don't know Jalen well enough. He's been on our show a number of times. I think he's great. I like him a lot. Actually, really like him. But I don't know what the advice that he's getting. What would you tell him? I mean, what's the best path? Look, the young man, that's what I want to do. I want to get to the league. What's my best path?
Yeah, and you are right on with that question. And we see it, a lot more guys. There's only 60 draft picks.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of guys that don't get drafted that make the league. So what do you want to do? You want to go back to the certain thing, which is at least you're going to be given the opportunity to be a star, or go start that grind and see if you catch on with a G League team and start climbing the ladder that way.
Yeah, you go to the G League, or you go to Turkey or Israel or wherever it is you're going to play. I mean, I'm just thinking of some of the guys around here, Australia. Where are you going? Yeah. So we'll know. I think there's a lot there. We know David Roddy's also on that list, Colorado State. I think this got lost somewhere, and probably in my travels, and I would guess you and Grammer got to it. One of the big returning in the Mountain West Conference was Nathan Mensah saying he's going back to San Diego State, Defensive Player of the Year. Did you guys talk about that?
No, I thought that was been finalized for a while.
Yeah, I thought it was when I was traveling, and I know we hadn't talked about it. I thought that was a big piece in this league for him coming back for his COVID year and deciding. I mean, look, they get Bradley back. They got the scorer from Seattle. They're going to be pretty good again. And you return that guy in the middle. That's
one thing that doesn't change.
Not in the last 2 decades. Yeah, not in the last 2 decades.
Is when you turn on San Diego State, you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to see.
Yeah, basketball, that's sure. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. We got a lot to do. When we come back, more trouble for Deshaun Watson. And there's another allegation. There's another lawsuit. Does it matter? Tell you why it kind of does. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For over 3 decades.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference.
This coffee thing. So why there's one pot of coffee made. And it's in, and as I poured it, it's in that one with the handle that says decaf. But is anybody actually putting decaf in the decaf coffee, or is anybody?
I do not believe anyone drinks decaf in the morning.
Then why the hell are they labeled? Who labeled them, and why can I take the damn labels off?
I just love that it's
in the afternoon.
Actual coffee.
Yeah, the other one says actual coffee.
Not regular.
Right, no, actual is
It's
right.
actual.
Yeah. No, that's 100% perfectly labeled. But okay, so your point is this is about the afternoon shift and people who are in the afternoon.
From what I've been told,
Yeah.
it's people in the evening
that
want some coffee without the caffeine, because I totally just blew through that and was like, bleep y'all in the morning. And if your heart explodes, I guess I'm on the hook. But because some people can't have caffeine.
Yeah. All right.
And I just was like, whatever. That's your fault for
Then get it.
doing a whole coffee pot in the morning. But I think we are safe.
All of
the
us in the
clear.
morning are doing
All of us
coffee,
in the morning.
no matter which
caffeine
damn pot it's in.
In the only 2 pots we have out there. Yes.
All right. Because as I poured it, I'm like, all right, so am I doing this for nothing or you get my point? I mean, just to create used coffee.
You have a caffeine tester.
Like, what the hell do you need to
Coffee
know?
Wars.
And it's all just showing you it's a mind game, right? There's little scientific experiment going on. I didn't even know, dude, until you guys told me. I mean, I could have been handling that pot for 15 years and not known they was labeled until you told me.
I think the labels came recently.
Yeah, that's what you said. I get it.
While you were gone.
Yeah.
Stuff gets crazy while you're gone.
That's what's happened, man. Maybe I just shouldn't go away. Maybe I shouldn't. Well, we'll work on that. All right. Hey, I'm curious as your thoughts on this. I guess what's the difference between 22 and 23? Right? Age, $22 or $23, 22 lawsuits, 23 lawsuits. I mean, what's the difference, right? But I'm going to tell you that I think that this 23rd lawsuit that came forward yesterday against Deshaun Watson, the now Cleveland Browns quarterback, that is accusing him of sexual misconduct. I think this matters, and I'll tell you why I think this matters. And you guys may think I'm wrong. While this will join the rest of them eventually, it stands out now as we are about a month away from opening camp. That's right, about a month away from opening camp. And this one is the first one that I remember, JJ, that I'm starting to hear details. Now, when these civil suits happen, we're going to hear all kinds of details, alleged details. But in the lawsuit, this woman claims that the third one, it was his behavior grew worse over their massages. And during the third and final massage, she alleges, and this is in the lawsuit, that Watson exposed himself to her, touched her between the legs, and repeatedly requested to have sex with him, or that they have sex. All right, not graphic. Maybe it is graphic. I'm sorry about you eating your breakfast and listening to this mess. I think this is different because this is a little standoutish. This is the first one. I get a little details. She says this came after the HBO special with Bryant Gumbel with where Watson showed no remorse. To me, this reignites it, brings it back to light. Is it going to matter in regards to him with the Cleveland Browns, with his contract? But I do believe the court of public opinion in this case is going to matter. It's going to matter for his endorsements. And I do think the NFL is going to it's going to be somewhat swayed by this.
At this point, the NFL last week said they were nearing their end of their investigation. That can't be the case. What's left?
How many of these are left, right?
Yeah, it's if you're the NFL and your investigating is apparently better because you don't have laws to follow than the police, which I think is just...
It's bonkers, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yep.
I don't know what you do because all you can do is go, well, here's your 8 games and move on. Because are you kicking this man out of the league? Are you pulling a Major League Baseball?
Down to 6. Yeah.
Like, this whole Deshaun Watson situation is disgusting. It's terrible to talk about. But
what do you think is going to happen?
What the league is supposed to do?
Well,
because if they find they're like, oh, this dude did sexually assault people, are you kicking him out of the league? Because just letting the civil cases.
When do these civil cases happen? To me, this is because here's the scenario, and this is going to happen. When are the civil cases happening? It's been over a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever they happen, they will be public. And there will be graphic details that will come out in each one of these now 23 cases. Now, I don't know if he's going to be found liable, guilty. In civil cases, what are you? Liable? You're not guilty. He's not being tried. He'd be found accountable, liable, whatever. That he did it. Let's say he's found. I mean, I don't know. You think this is all or nothing here? Because I don't. I think there's going to be like 18 of them yes and 5 of them no, or 5 no and 5 yes and 18. Right? They're not all. You think it goes 23-0 one way or the other? I don't.
No.
Okay.
But I do think more girls are going to speak up now because 2 of them spoke up, and now this girl.
Recently?
Yeah, recently. So
all
now
right.
this girl spoke up.
So what happens when? And I don't. Let's just say trials start in November or next February. Whenever the hell they start. And you start hearing this kind of stuff over and over and over, and the courts say, yep, you did it, you're responsible. Pay that woman, she gets $1 million. And you get $1 million, and you get $1 million, whatever, or $200,000, whatever. And the details come out in court. Now, they're not criminal because this isn't a criminal trial. But all of a sudden, now it's all out there. Can you double jeopardize this guy? Because I don't know that you can. Are they waiting for that? Because all these graphic stories are going to come out, okay? And can the NFL then go back and go, ooh, man, the 6 games we gave him wasn't nearly enough. What a pig, if in fact it gets there. Or, man, because it could go the other way. Ooh, the 6 games might have been too much. He really didn't do anything. Now, I'm assuming it won't go that way. But can they go – do you see my point?
Yeah, and that's with these situations, the NFL doesn't know what to do.
Obviously.
And I don't think any sports league does. I think Major League Baseball was like, oh, Trevor Bauer, there's 2 years, go away. But then you're like, well, for what? Like, what do you know
for
that –
being a freak?
Yeah, like, what do you know that the authorities don't know that you kicked this dude out of baseball for 2 years, but then you have this Deshaun Watson situation, and they were hoping just everything that last year was it. Like, all right, he sits out, they'll get it all figured out. Boom, Deshaun Watson's back with Cleveland Browns.
But in fact, it was nothing.
And then what do you do when it's not a criminal case, when it is civil suits? And you have an organization that's like, he's our guy. And when he gets back after this year, he's got guaranteed money on the table because we believe in him, and that's why we only gave him $1 million so he doesn't lose money this year.
Yeah, I struggle with this a lot because everything you said, honestly, and there is going to be some sort of a penalty. Everybody knows it. The Browns know it. He knows it. His camp knows it. That's why they structured the contract as it's been structured, where his base salary is $1 million this year. So he's going to misses 8 games out of the 17, and he loses $450,000 as opposed to, if he was making $40 million and he loses 20, right? So they all know that. I guess I'm coming down to why I think this is meaningful with this woman coming out. It brought it all back to light. It gave you a couple of details. It makes you realize, A. Marie's point, I think there's going to be more. And what are they going to do? They've got to drop something on it before camp starts, don't you think? Certainly before the season starts, but I would think before camp starts in a month.
Is it the exempt list? Commissioners,
whatever they put him on. I think, okay, so let's say you give him 8 games, they appeal, you knock it down to 6. But what are you going to do in 8 months, 10 months, 12, whatever, when you start hearing all these stories and the courts rule, yep, you did it, and you have to pay that woman, and you're going, is that enough? Is it too much? Do we? And I don't. Can you double jeopardize him? Can you penalize? Wow, it wasn't enough. And you got people screaming. And if that how it plays out, rightfully so. I don't know where they go. 505-246-0610. I'm curious. When you heard this yesterday, was it just all right? Well, 23. What the hell's the difference? I mean, it's not 22. It's 23. Who cares? Or did it matter to you, and make you rethink this whole thing, because it's going to be interesting. All right. Next, we're going to get into Nick Saban. Nick Saban spoke yesterday at the SEC meetings. Jimbo's going to speak today. Are they saying anything? And why what he said yesterday actually is kind of true. 505-246-0610. For quite some time, I've been telling you about NuMale and how thousands of men have benefited from NuMale's industry-leading testosterone replacement, how these men feel better, feel stronger, take care of fatigue and depression, even erectile dysfunction. Did you know, though, that NuMale also specializes in hair restoration? It's truth. Hair restoration without side effects. Here's the number. 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688. Or you can visit NuMale, NuMale.com. NuMale gives you options. Platelet-rich plasma hair therapy that uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells deep in your hair follicle to stop hair loss and regrow hair. They have an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser proven to regrow hair. NeoGraft hair transplants producing natural-looking results in less than a week with no linear scarring. The treatments work for both men and women who want a natural, thicker head of hair without side effects. New Mills in Albuquerque. They're convenient. Give them a call. 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688. Or go online at newmail.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this
95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Text line, Amory says, I had my doubts at 22 women, but now 23, I think something's up. I get it. I mean, what's the difference between 22 and 23, right? But the fact that this one stood alone, came out late, gave you some detail, and reignited the conversation. To me, ultimately, is he going to get his money? Is he going to play football at some point? Yeah. I think the court of public opinion matters in this situation. But yeah, like I had my doubts at 22 women, but now 23. Oh yeah, I think something's up. Thank you. Daniel, happy birthday. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Thank you for that, brother.
Yeah, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, bro.
Happy birthday, dear Daniel. Happy birthday to you. Edward will bring cake.
All right, I'll be waiting for Edward.
Yeah.
I love Edward. He's our resident grammatical genius.
Something, yes.
Hey, so what is up with our society where we, Kaepernick will kneel down and stand up for his rights as a human being, and the NFL and the public blackball him, but this guy sexually assaults 23 women.
Allegedly.
And we're talking about how many games he should be suspended for, or I mean, it's nuts. It doesn't even sound right when I say it out loud. I mean, what are we doing? Like JJ says, well, the NFL doesn't know what to do. They truly do not know what to do, and it's just floating around out there in space, and nobody's making any decisions. It's just frustrating as all you know what. But I would have let this guy close to my daughters or
You lost.
Let this guy on his team right now without any kind of.
All right, Dan. No, I get your point.
You know what I mean?
No, you're
crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it's just nuts, man.
Your phone totally broke up after you said I don't. Are you good now? Because you said I wouldn't let him close to my daughters.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah. So I mean, it seems nuts. What are we doing as a society? And this guy just needs to sit out a couple of years, get his act together, go get some therapy, and let the game move forward without all of this awful negativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
But you guys have a great day. Keep.
All right, happy birthday to you, Dan.
Dan's point is right.
Yeah.
But the difference is, a protest is something that everyone directly sees and reacts to, and this is something that, as sports fans, we've become so accustomed to going, well, they're probably just going after his money.
Look, here's the difference between, well, I mean, you all decided wherever you were with Colin Kaepernick, right? There was no gray area. Did he do it? Did he not do it? There was a gray area. The gray area was why did he do it, and why did he do it the way he did it? And but I'm not gonna lie. I don't care where you stand. I think it's hard to get to the point where he should be banned from football. And some of these guys that have done what they've done, whether it's beat the hell out of their women over and over again or whatever, they're able to play. This is allegations. Criminal investigation found that there wasn't enough to press charges, so he was never charged criminally. He says he didn't do it. You got 23 women now who say he did. Like premise, Dan's right. If he did it, what are we doing? This guy can play and that guy can't. I think it's kind of right. If that in fact is the way it is, but it's not as cut and dry as that. Hello, Speech. How are you?
How you doing?
Good. What's happening?
Hey, I want to ask you. I mean, what do the Browns do now? Do they keep Baker and give him a shot?
No.
But, I mean, this kind of puts Baker in the driver's seat. He could ask for whatever he wants.
Yeah, no. They've got Jacoby Brissett. They'll ride Jacoby Brissett out until the 6 or 8 games are over, and then they're going to turn it over to him. I mean, it's really that simple.
So you still think they're going to trade Baker?
Yeah, there's no mending that fence. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, thanks.
All right.
Have a good day.
I mean, do you see any other alternative there?
No, the only thing Baker can do is just say, even if y'all wanted me to come in, I'm not going to, because I want my opportunity to start somewhere else and reignite my career when you know that you're just an 8-game stopgap in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, Baker wants out. They want Baker out. They just got to find a place somebody wants to take him. As much as that would be cute, that's over.
At this point, too, it's just waiting on how much money Cleveland is going to pick up on the year he has left.
That's correct.
And so teams are just waiting it out. No hurry. It's June 1st.
It is June 1st, by the way.
June 1st.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
The team really wants him in by training camp. They still got some time to figure that out. Put the pressure on Cleveland. All right. Oh, you want to pick up $12 million of his $16 million, $18 million, whatever is left on that, sure, here's a 5th round pick.
Yeah, but that's not the solution. No, Dan's point's not wrong.
What does Cleveland do? Deal with it. You believe this man to this point in time. You put a $230 million fully guaranteed contract on the table. Have fun with this mess.
Yeah. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Love your thoughts on that. We're getting ready to get started with the NBA Finals. Warriors, Celtics, and it comes down to what do you like? And we're going to get there tomorrow. Want to get there. And Aaron Donald's not really going to walk away from football when he's the best defensive player in the game, is he? He says he might. What do the Rams got to do? It's next on the opening drive.
Staples offers the latest laptops.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
So, Aaron Donald, would you say is the best defensive player in the National Football League? Most impactful? I don't know. Where do you put him? Defensive tackle, Los Angeles Rams.
Best defensive player in the NFL.
Okay. He may never play again. He's played 8 years, just won a Super Bowl. Rams say they're working on a new contract with him. He wants a new contract. He's signed through 2024, but there's no guaranteed money left on his deal. Sean McVay said that he was relieved that Donald decided to return for next season, although he hasn't said he's decided to return. In fact, he did the I Am Athlete podcast, and his return, he said, is completely contingent on a new deal. Rams got to find a – I mean, this is easy, right? Find a way to pay the man.
Yes.
31 years old in his prime, as good as there is, the game just helped you win a Super Bowl. Do you believe Aaron Donald, when he says – I played with a dude named Larry Donald. Aaron Donald, when he says, I'm good, I'll walk away. I'm good. I don't need it. I can do other stuff. I do. Do you guys believe him?
Yes.
I don't think he wants to walk away, but I don't think he's going to play to. He's like the 120-something paid player in the league. He doesn't need to be number one, but he sure as hell needs to be top 15, doesn't he? 20? I mean, I don't know. Put your quarterback stuff in there. He said it ain't about the money. It's a business at the end of the day. He says, quote, that's what you got to see. For me, it's about winning. I don't want to play football if I can't win anyway. So I feel like if I got a real opportunity to win another Super Bowl, then it makes sense to play. But again, it's still a business. We've got to handle the business side of things. And if that wasn't to get handled, then it is what it is type of situation. I'll be fine regardless, end quote. This is the guy. I mean, I'm not telling you it's quarterback important, but it's right after that, isn't it? How are we even in this situation? The Rams,
because everyone's getting
paid. Yeah,
and not just the quarterback.
Yeah, Rams feel like they've handled things pretty well. The Rams are the ultimate. I'm not worried about draft picks. We'll worry about now. Let me take it 1 year at a time, right? The Rams are the ultimate team like that.
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, it paid off. They won a Super Bowl. They could stink the next year. I don't think they will, but they could. Okay. Odell's out there that wants to get paid. They're not going to probably pay him, but he just won. I feel like he wants to play, and this is I don't know. We always talk about guys playing this thing out in the media, This is a different way of playing it. Most guys say, I ain't reporting to camp. I ain't going. You pay me.
Remove from social media.
Right.
He didn't do that.
But is this any better? Him just saying, "Oh, I'm just going to retire. I'm not going to play. I don't have to play." I mean, is this any better? It's just a different tactic. It feels like it's the same thing, just different disguise. Does it feel that way to you?
It is.
Okay.
It's a straight message.
So then he's going to
about
play
your future.
Yeah. So then they're going to find a way to pay him, and he's going to play, right?
And what I think we're looking at is Aaron Donald wants guaranteed money on his contract.
Yeah,
that's
he's earned it.
Really, the key to all these deals is you can say someone has a $200 million deal, $250 million deal, but they really don't. It's how much guaranteed money are you giving these guys, and we're seeing that number get larger and larger in every deal. Tyreek Hill, the amount of guaranteed money they gave a wide receiver is crazy. But
Deshaun
that's
Watson.
The direction.
I know.
Well, you expect out the
Pay
quarterback.
Donald. If you're going to pay Watson, pay Donald.
But every position is now wanting close to a fully guaranteed contract.
I don't know if they can do that. I don't. But maybe that's what they're looking for.
But this is one of the few guys I can stand there and say that, and your only response is, "Yep, we're gonna have to do it."
All right,
if you
so
want him.
What's he worth? Because I'll give you. Do you know
what's a defensive tackle worth?
Do you know
these
what
days?
he's set to make right now this year?
No.
What would you say? Okay, so JJ does. What should he be paid this year? What would do you think? I mean, quarterbacks are making what, $40 million is the going rate?
Yes.
Best defensive player in the game. Well, I mean, what would you feel comfortable? What's insulting? Throw me a number. All right, I'll give you the number. 'Cause That's a lot of silence.
Okay, sorry.
$14.25 million is what he's set to make this year. So his base salary is $9.25. He gets a roster bonus of $5 million. Okay? I mean, that feels like, JJ, it feels like a decent number. And you say it's not guaranteed. If he shows up to work, it's guaranteed he's making the money. What should he make? He wants a long-term deal with a big chunk at the front. I understand that. I mean, it doesn't feel like is he a $20 million guy? Okay, we can have this conversation. I mean, whatever going rate is for the best defensive player in the game.
You're saying on a year contract?
Well, that's what he's set to make this year. He wants, right? He's got a deal through 2024, and that's what he's set to make this year. All right, he's on a 6-year, $135 million deal right now with $86.8 million in total guarantees, but he's got nothing guaranteed left. He's tied through 2024. His $9.25 million base salary is and $5 million is guaranteed, so it's $14 million this year. Next year he gets we're talking crazy money, right? $16.75 million next year. So what should it be?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
yes, that's the money that he'll make this season. These dudes want the money even if they're not playing.
Yeah, no, I understand.
That's what fully guaranteed means.
I understand.
That means Aaron Donald, you can say, oh, yeah, you're making $14.25 million this year. All right, he goes out there, blows up his knee. He's not making $19 million next year.
So let me give you some
That's the battle between the player and the teams.
Well, I'll give you some perspective. Okay, so his deal, that was, what I just tell you, $135 million, 6 years, $135. So the average salary on that is $22.5 million. All right, it's $1.5 million more than Leonard Williams and DeForest Buckner,
okay,
who are the second highest paid defensive tackles. The $50 million full guarantee is $5 million more than Williams. The $86.9 million total guarantee, which he got, is almost $27 million more than the next guy in his category, Chris Jones. Look, he transcends. He's different. I get it. He's different at defensive tackle. He should be categorized as the best player defensively in the league. I get it. But he's still paid more than any cornerback. He's paid more than any safety. He's paid more than any inside off-ball linebacker in the NFL.
TJ Watt is paid.
TJ Watt's total value right now is
annual salary $28 million.
Yeah. And Donald's was, what I just tell you, 22.5. Yeah. So there are now 5 edge rushers who make more per year than he does. And again, he doesn't care about per year because he already made it. TJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack, and Max Crosby all make more than him per year on contracts. All right, so there's your number. You're paying him $14.5 this year. Find a way to get him up. I mean, you got to find another $10 million. Sounds like nothing, but right. So I mean, it's not like he's grossly, like Kyler Murray feels like he's grossly underpaid, and he might be. This is the best player in the league at his position. Do we agree he's better than T.J. Watt, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack, Max Crosby, Von Miller?
I think he is the best at his position in the league.
All right. He's not grossly underpaid. He's underpaid. So what do you do? Von Miller, 6 years, 120. That kind of threw the whole thing out of whack. I don't know how much of that is guaranteed. Von Miller's not worth 6 years at $120 million at this point. But it kind of threw the whole market out of whack. And look, he's not taking that deal anyway. He had a bigger deal last time. I don't know. I just is this guy going to walk away? The top of his game.
31 years old.
There's a lot of money on the table. I mean, maybe he's got somewhere else where he's making $14.5 million this year. And if he does, good for him. I mean, if that's the case, knock yourself out. All right. Other side of the top of the hour break, when we come back at 8 o'clock. We get into some college football, discuss what Nick Saban had to say yesterday. Jimbo will talk today. Nick Saban spoke yesterday. Everybody else in that room is like, nah, I ain't getting in the middle of these two. You let them deal with it. I ain't stupid enough to talk about that. I mean, it's funny listening to those guys. But we're going to hear a little of what Nick Saban had to say. I'm going to tell you why there's some truth in it. I know everybody's giving him a hard time for backpedaling, and he is backpedaling a bit. But there's a lot of truth in what he has to say. Oh, it's just the old man who's losing control, and he's not the greatest anymore. Well, maybe. There also, I think, is some truth in there. So we'll go down to Destin next. Sebastian Noel at 8:30. Javon Williamson, UNM track and field goal in the NCAA championships at 9:30. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
I kind of feel like it's been a phenomenon over the last decade or so, because I don't remember back in the day, and the day, I don't know, maybe is beyond a decade ago, where spring meetings where college coaches would get together at a resort was a deal. Do you? Did you ever remember news coming out of Scottsdale or Destin where the coaches get together in late May or early June now, and it was a deal? Do you ever remember that?
No, it's just the team is good. I am good.
Well, that's
we are
media
excited
day. No,
for next
that's
season.
media day.
That's everything.
Is it?
In the off season.
That's next month. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. The SEC is in Destin. The coaches are. By the way, good buddy of mine runs a bowl game. He hadn't been to Destin yet. He's down there for the SEC meetings. Called me Saturday. He's like, "Hey, buddy. Hey, so I've never been here. Okay, I'm gonna lie. I'm kind of disappointed." I'm like, "Really?" Yeah. I said, "Well, the property's old. I mean, the lure is kind of the location." He's like, "Well, that's good. I kind of sent me a picture of his view. I'm like, "Yeah, no, I have that view. The property's old. What do you do? I mean, the property's been there a while." "Yeah, no, I'm a little disappointed." "All right. Well, you're just in Cabo, and you flew from Cabo to Destin. I understand that you just did 10 days in Cabo, and that's how that worked. But yeah, he's down there at those meetings too, and said everything was calm so far. By the way, I know.
Sorry, you're in Destin, Florida,
yes.
dude.
What do you want me to tell you? I really don't feel that bad for you. Is my point. Yeah. All right. So Nick Saban has been backtracking since he went out and carved up Texas A&M and Jackson State for buying players during recruiting. And you've dissected it. Is it because he didn't buy him well enough? Is it wallet ran dry? Him and Jimbo Fisher came after him, the Texas A&M coach, and carved him back. And so here we are as they all sit together in a room. Jimbo Fisher will speak allegedly to the media today. Here's part of what Nick Saban said yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, while he's backtracking and you may think he's full of crap, there's a lot of truth in what he's saying.
I didn't really say that anybody did anything wrong.
You said they bought their recruiting class.
And he looks like disgusting.
I didn't say anybody did anything wrong, okay? And I've said everything I'm going to say about this.
Except?
But, I think that, I guess the point, and I should have never mentioned any individual institutions. I said that before. But, some kind of uniform name, image, and likeness, standard that supports some kind of equitable national competition, I think is really, really important in college athletics and college football. And we've always had that.
All right.
Whether it's
So he's not wrong with that. Okay, can we agree with that?
No, I don't want to hear that from Nick Saban.
You don't want to hear it from him. So
no, I don't want to hear that from the coach that was sitting there on his golden throne, handing out pennies to New Mexico State to come get beat by 70 for him to have a win, and now he wants college athletics to be equitable, and now he wants there to be something of a level playing field for college athletics when he's sitting there. You are winning. You recruit players at the highest level. You got your contract. You deserve that as a head coach. But don't sit there and tell me you want it to be equitable when each school in the SEC is getting $40 to $50 million for television deals, and now you just happen to be beat on some recruits because of NIL, and now you want it to be equitable? Get out of here with that, Nick Saban.
So I think what he said is right. I think there does need to be something to be equitable. Now, whether it's coming from him or not, I think it's right. Now, equitable is never going to mean that New Mexico State's going to get on the field with Alabama and compete. And so equitable is still going to mean that New Mexico State's going to get $1.5 million to go to Alabama and get beat 70-6. Okay, equitable at the top, equitable with recruiting.
He doesn't want to be beat.
Well, no, he didn't want it equitable when he was on top. So the messenger may not be the right messenger. The message to me is right. Okay, whether you want to hear it from the messenger, from him, if you think he's full of crap, and he might be. To me, the message is right. They've got to somehow reel this in. Now, did he say anybody was cheating? Look, we've been down this road a million times. Like he said, they bought their players. Okay, he should not have mentioned any names. My whole thing with this is the fact that you've got all these big name coaches talking about it. Does that get something done? Because I think you've got to the point where something's got to get done. He said later, look, I'm all for my players making money. They all did well.
None of these coaches understand that what they're asking for is going to hurt their schools. When you start saying we need to cap this, when we need to have more control over this, guess what that does?
Yeah.
Title IX.
Well,
because right now you are living outside the rules of that for institutions. And all these coaches complain all they want and cry to the media and be like, oh, no, I'm only going to win one national championship every 4 years now because Texas A&M can get so many recruits with their NIL deals. You start rolling this into universities, it's going to destroy college athletics. Right now, there's just a lot of people pulling their hair out, but the collectives are not under the umbrella of having to pay everybody.
Yeah, but the collectives are kind of doing whatever they want. And do you feel that collectives should be able, people who are basically not affiliated with, theoretically not affiliated with these universities, should be out representing the universities and running college football?
We'll see if they're actually running college football.
Well, I mean, if they're the ones who are out buying the players.
Yeah, the coaches are telling them which players to buy.
Okay, so is that who you want dealing with this, running college football? I think, let me ask you this. If that would have come from Eli Drinkwater or Mike Leach or Billy Napier, one of the coaches who wasn't dominating, would
I need
would
something
you hear
more at this
would
point.
you hear the message more?
I need something more from all these people.
What do you need?
I need an idea. You
Yeah.
can.
Oh, that's fair.
You
That-
can
that-
yell fair
100%.
and equitable all you want. It's never been fair and equitable. You didn't care when you were beating everyone's brains in.
Yep.
But now, just because Texas A&M can land the #1 ranked recruiting class, you think something's wrong in college athletics.
Well, but there is. Okay, whether again,
Tell me what it is.
What it is?
That's what I wanted to hear from Nick Saban. What is wrong with college athletics?
So you want to hear what's wrong, and you want the solution from him. Is that right?
Yeah,
I think
stop
he
telling
to-
me what's
Well, he
wrong.
told you what's wrong. You just said I want
That
to
he
hear
has
what's wrong.
#2 class, not the #1 class.
No. He told you guys are. He says buying recruits. Now maybe you think that's okay. And if you think that's okay, then there's going to be nothing equitable because there's no equality in regards to.
There
what
wasn't
money is.
before.
Understood. And so since it's never been that way, then it shouldn't be. Is that kind of what you're saying? Well, it's never been equitable, so screw it. It should
I'm
never
saying
be.
Because everyone, all of us,
Yeah.
are talking out of both sides of our mouth.
Yeah.
You can't say you're for name, image, and likeness, but then find a true way to separate that from recruiting.
So here's a couple of things on that. I think name, image, and likeness is completely. That's not fair. I think the intent of name, image, and likeness is different than buying recruits. Okay. Now I know where we are. I know what the result is, but I think the intent of name, image, and likeness is different than buying recruits. Now, if you want to tell me, fine, we'll just pay guys, then go down that road. But name, image, and likeness means you were supposed to be compensated for your name, image, and likeness to promote an entity, a product, a whatever. I think we all are at the point where they're just getting paid, right? 11 months in, they're just getting paid. They're being bought. Now, is that illegal? It doesn't seem to be. Is that against the rules? Is that cheating? It doesn't seem to be. No. Texas A&M just feels like they got in front of it. They did it better. People were better thinking it processed through and finding the money and raising the money and spending the money and getting the athletes. And if that's the case, so be it. Then they win. They did it better.
Because I don't know how you separate.
Therein lies the issue.
The quote unquote pay to play from name, image, and likeness. Because if name, image, and likeness deals are out there, you're going to know about that in recruiting. You go, oh, offensive linemen get to do this at this school versus nothing at that school. So it's impossible
to separate them.
To separate
I think
stuff.
you're right.
And then when people say it needs to be fair and equitable, well, you can't put a cap on it because you don't run it. And then if you start to put a cap on it, you know what that does? That hurts New Mexico. That hurts New Mexico State more so than it does right now, because then, you know what's fair and equitable? It has to be the same for everyone.
So are you saying just let it go? I mean, don't do anything?
I'm
Just-
saying
just
I
go?
have not heard an idea that makes sense that does not get the schools involved directly in money, which would then destroy the Aggies and Lobos.
So this is where we were 4 weeks ago when I got back from Scottsdale. And I'm like, okay, I hear everybody complaining about it, saying that they need to fix it, but nobody knows who they are and nobody has an idea. And so you're tired of that guy's voice, which is fair. And that guy's saying really what everybody else is saying. You just don't want to hear it from him. Is that fair?
Yes.
I mean, what Nick Saban said is no different what Danny Gonzalez said.
Danny is not saying
that the guys cheat or bought players, but he's saying there's got to be a system.
Okay, but and I get that, but I don't. These coaches, his administrators, they know that, but it's different. Like Nick Saban can say that, because for his university, if they take more control, maybe their budget shrinks a little bit because they got to spread that money out. The fact that it's on the outside right now, like how is the University of New Mexico?
Right. No.
If they say, all right, you have more control over this. This is your budget or your cap. Well, then it's going to have to go to your softball team. It's going to have to go to your track and field team.
Can you cap it through collectives?
And then no, because you're going to lose every battle in court.
And why are collectives? And this is one thing I don't understand. If they are somewhat associated, and if they are the ones who are paying, because there's no other word, the student athletes who are on scholarship at the university, they're obviously directly affiliated with the universities. Why are they not then falling under the umbrella of Title IX? And that's where I don't understand it.
And
why are they somehow they don't have to adhere to Title IX?
Yeah, and that's the one where it's easier for Nick Saban to say something like that, but then you got the other group of 5 schools right here in the state going, I don't know if we actually want more control. We'll do our whole, hey, make sure things line up, like that, this date on the contract versus this scholarship offer. Just make sure to keep those things in check. But the more you say, hey, you're involved in this, the more money that's coming in. And so I think what you're getting at, Jeff, is at what point can you roll the collective into the university and then just
do you want to? I mean, is that something that should be
done? But then
because I think the universities are all going, I don't want to deal with that.
Then that means, well, we have to figure out a way to distribute money across the board.
505-246-0610. So what you heard from Saban, I'm really curious where you are. Was it? I don't want to hear that crap from you. You're full of it. Was it the right message from the wrong dude? I mean, should he just? He had to say something. He was in front of the media. He had to say something. I think this will be the last time he addresses this. And Jimbo will hit it today. He had to say something. Honestly, he backtracked. What else was he going to do? I don't know what you wanted to hear from him that would have made you feel any better. But
it's one that the reality for Nick Saban, you can't backtrack on these comments. There's nowhere to go back from.
505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big with.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100
situation. Like, be stronger, because it is everyone being one and done each year right now at the transfer portal. Even with just the one free transfer, you can go down and look at so many guys and go, well, how did he get here? Did he really just graduate?
Well, I mean, how did
Xavier
Teddy
Pinson
Allen-
to New Mexico State? It's Teddy Allen somehow still being in the portal.
Yeah,
when I thought he was going
sixth
pro.
school or whatever. Yeah.
And so I think there's things you can start to try to lock down on the players. But when it comes to the NIL right now, no one has an idea how to control it.
And your points on that dead on, where just give me an idea. Let's start. Okay, stop. Everybody understands there's an issue. Now start throwing out ideas. Give me something. Give me something to go on. And your point is, I don't know how you take it out of recruiting. There's no way that you're sitting in a living room. You're recruiting a defensive tackle, and Colorado State's recruiting him, and Oregon State's recruiting him, and San Diego State's recruiting him. And there's no way it doesn't come up, well, what's my NIL deal? They're telling me I'll make $10,000 a month. I don't know, I'm just throwing that at you. Let's just say $1,000 a month. Well, I mean, you got to go to your collective. So they're in its own right to tell me they're completely separate entities. They can't be. They can't be. Because the coaches, when they're recruiting, have to have this conversation, and how so the coaches have to be in touch with the collectives, right? I mean, how can they sit there and tell you, JJ, well, I don't talk to the collective, I don't know anything about what the collectives do. How can that even be? It can't be, right? So you're getting recruited. Let's say your son's getting recruited, and Austin Buck's going to go, and here's New Mexico, and Colorado State, and Oregon State, and San Diego State, and Nevada. You kind of want to know what the NIL deal, right? It's part of what might he be able to get. And you can't keep it out of recruiting at this point. Well, we'll tell you when you get to campus. Well, sir, I'm never coming to campus. Thank you, because they're promising me this. I don't know what the answer is either. All right, let me get you some emails that have come in this morning. Deutsch got a different take on Deshaun Watson. We were talking about Deshaun Watson. Deutsch says, if I'm his handlers, Jeff, I'm arguing that he's already been suspended for an entire season. So he's already paid his penance. He should be eligible to play right away. The thing is, he was paid for that whole season, and he basically didn't want to play, and they didn't want him to play. I don't even know that that's an argument, right? He basically last year said, do you recall, before it all went down, he said, I'm not playing for the Houston Texans again. Remember that?
I do remember.
I don't know how then he can say, no, I wanted to play, and they wouldn't let me play. Nice, good angle, try it. A, he got paid, and B, he said, I'm not playing for them. So, good luck with it. Lobo Hobo's in on Jalen House. We will find out by 10 o'clock tonight. I don't know if we'll find out by then. I think we will. Whether or not Jalen House is going to return to the Lobos for another year or take his talents to the professional level. But Lobo Hobo says on House, he says, Jeff, this guy can test the waters in, quote, 1 or 50 times. Unless he grows 4 to 5 inches, he's never going to be an NBA player, so I'm not sure if his stock gets any higher coming back, especially if Dent takes over. Dent's not taking over. Dent can be part of the puzzle next year. Dent can be part of the rotation. I'm not worried about Donovan Dent taking over for Jalen House. Are you?
No.
I mean, if he comes back, he's going to get an opportunity to grow as a player. The question for Jalen, this is what I asked you earlier, if the goal is to play in the NBA, and that's obviously the goal, what's the best path? Is it for him to cut ties with college basketball now and go G League or overseas or whatever it is? Or is it to come back and play another year at the University of New Mexico, play college basketball? I don't know what his advisors, his dad certainly is a big part of this, have told him. And it's going to be interesting one way or the other. I'm hoping we get him on and have a conversation with him. But I think that's really what's your best path, young man? What's your best path to getting to the National Basketball Association.
And also, what does he want to do? Is he someone that is into class, is just playing school to get by,
right?
And keeping his grades where it needs to be, or is he just ready to go bounce around? And it's not a glamorous life in the G League and
What's his
even
NIL
overseas
deal now?
at times. And then that is a huge factor. Could he be making potentially more money next season playing for Lobos than he could on a G League contract? And I don't look at Jalen House right now and say, boom, that's an NBA player. But he's quick. He's a shot creator. He can make tough shots. There's a lot of guards in the league that are bouncing around, not necessarily full-time guys, but on NBA rosters. And I will remind everyone this morning, and if Jalen House makes the decision to stay in. Now, he's not the length of a perimeter player. Remember how y'all felt about Tony Snell?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, just the draft world looking at players for the next level is different than a lot of people's mindset about the player they see in the moment.
All right, the voice of the people's coming up next. We'll talk to Sebastian Noel, high school sports, Gladiators. He's got a thought on what Nick Saban had to say as well. What's your financial goal? What are your financial goals? Kirtland Federal Credit Union has a product and personal service that will get you wherever it is you need to be. Buying a car, competitive rates, unbeatable service will help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments with which you can live. Need a new home? Choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs. Partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts. You want to improve the current home? Turn the value of your home into cash. Use it for home improvements, upgrades, and more. Are you planning for retirement? You should be. Investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Financial Services. Talk to an advisor today. Start walking the path to a confident future. How can they help you today? Well, stop by any branch or visit them online at kirtlandfcu.org. That's kirtlandfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. See a representative for complete details.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back.
And we've been talking about this all morning, and JJ we went to the break. He's like, "Whoa, how did I miss this?"
Well, I did remind myself to always check the Basketball Czar's Twitter, and that is one John Rothstein. He tweeted this morning 6:10 a.m.
Got it, a.m. 6:10? Yeah.
6:10 this morning. That New Mexico's Jalen House tells him he will withdraw from the 2022 NBA draft and return to school next season.
So according to John Rothstein, Jalen House is coming back to the Lobos, which I don't know if it's startling news, but it makes you feel a little bit better, I think, if you're a Lobo fan. He says the return of Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr. give Richard Pitino a returning backcourt that averaged around 35 points a game last season. New Mexico could be the sleeper team in the Mountain West. So good news for you, Lobo fan, and Yeah, that came down a little while ago. All right, now we'll go to the voice of the people. From ProView Network, Sebastian Noel joins us this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I don't know if I can follow breaking news like that.
That's kind of a big deal, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
It's I mean, I don't know that it's a shock. Richard Pitino was on with us a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever, and he was talking about what's coming back, and he mentioned Jalen, like, matter of factly, I remember asking him, gosh, you said it so matter of factly, and they kind of, well, if he comes back, but I think we anticipated that. All right, I know you were listening to the Saban stuff. You have some thoughts on what the czar, the god of the football world, thinks.
Oh, I'm glad you said that word, because yeah, it's the wrong message, one, from the wrong guy, and guys like Nick Saban, they have this really unhealthy God complex where they have to control not only people, right, in this case student athletes, but every situation they have to be in complete control. It's really kind of sick if you think about it. But so this whole name, image, likeness thing, it scares them because they don't have any control over it. And guys like Nick Saban want to have complete control over everything.
True.
What if let's take Danny Gonzalez. Okay? What if Danny Gonzalez got up to the podium and said, gosh, we really need some fairness and equity when it comes to coaches' salaries. They need to all be making the exact same amount. How would Nick Saban react to that? These coaches, they don't seem to have any problem when they're the highest paid state employee in every state of the union, it seems like. But when the money starts trickling down to the people that they are so used to controlling, it scares people with a God complex.
And he has no control. Yeah, none of them do. It feels like, or at least he doesn't get to control everything. And that's real. All right.
Well, Sebastian, I'm interested in the athletes that you talk to, the high school players, especially the high school coaches. Have their attitudes changed at all over the last year with the way things are going? Because scholarships are still a nice thing to have, but there's no guarantee of NIL money. But what's the high school and the recruiting landscape been like with the people you've talked to?
Well, to be honest, JJ, things don't look good for high school athletes anyway, because the transfer portal being so full, so congested. Coaches are much, and I think we've talked about this before, coaches are much more likely just to take the easy way out and take a guy from a college or JUCO or even a regular D1 school that is transferring, that's in the portal, and you save some time and headache of developing and of recruiting and of scouting because you have a guy that's been in the system, we'll say.
And with that, I know we're seeing it, here locally with what Brandon Mason is trying to do. Do you think that really starts to trickle down into what high school players decide to do, whether they want to play high school basketball, prep academy, different ways to try to get to the next level?
Well, I think Brandon Mason is tapping into something that's real, and that's these kids are scared that they're not going to get an opportunity to play at the next level, whether that be because of the transfer portal or New Mexico being under recruited, whatever you want to think. And I think Brandon's really tapping into that. But I didn't really answer the name, image, likeness part of your question, JJ. The guys I talk to are guys like Jordan Bird, okay? And they have a couple of deals, with maybe somebody that helped them develop here in New Mexico, right? And they have a name, image, likeness contract with them from the gym that they used to go to, and they have one for a local nutrition company in San Diego. That's the everyday athlete and how they can take advantage of it.
And that was the intent.
Benefit.
And that was the intent of this.
But I think that's a large part of it. We're always going to see the superstar that is getting $1 million for whatever. But I think the guys like Jordan Bird are benefiting from this. And that's what it was intended for. You're 100% right. And so, again, I don't think the system is broken in any way. It's just these coaches have a real problem when anyone gets paid other than them or when anyone has any control other than them.
And Nick Saban said, I got no problem. I want the players to make all they can. Our players did really well last year. They did it the right way. They got agents. But I think the control issue is right? He doesn't get to set the rules and set the standard anymore. And I agree with you. That's what bothers him. Sebastian Noel's the voice of the people. You hear him regularly over on ProView Networks. He also does Gladiator games and another squeaker. It feels like they're all squeakers, and kind of feels like your club's turned it around a little bit.
Yeah, we got a nice little winning streak going here. Ramon Atkins doing a great job at quarterback. Down the home stretch, I think we're going to be in the playoffs. It's who's peaking at the right time, right? And I think the Gladiators are. This is as balanced of a team as I've seen. Last year they smashed all those records with Nate Davis at quarterback, Dello Davis at receiver. Back in the CIF days, it was a real dominant defense. This seems to be the most balanced team we've had, I think.
What has made this passing offense so good without Nate Davis, and how has Atkins been able to click so quickly with this team?
Well, we talked about it last year. This is not a slight on Nate Davis, but these are the best receivers in the league, and it's not even close. When you have Dello, JJ, you can throw to Dello Davis, okay? Jeff, you can throw to Dello Davis.
Why is that funny to you?
Because I'm not a great thrower.
I think I can. Yeah, I think I can. Well, it took Ramon a minute, didn't it? But it's funny listening to Sherman talk about him. He quarterback out of New Mexico Highlands had to learn the game. It's a different game. The indoor game is just. He talked about it. It's a touch game. You can't just fire it in there, and it felt like when I watched that first game and I was there where he got his first experience. I'm like, gosh, this may not work. Like, when's Nate coming back? They couldn't get him back quick enough. And he was turning the ball over. Everybody was turning the ball over that night. And it feels like he's figured it out and can be really good at this level.
Talking to him a little bit, talking to Nate a little bit, the game has slowed down now to his comfortable pace. And for him to do that in a matter of 2 games is unbelievable. Because that's what everyone tells you about the indoor game is it's so fast, right? It's such a small playing surface. Everything's happening faster. And for the game to slow down for him already, it's pretty amazing. I have to think that whether it be Nate or Ramon, whoever doesn't come back as a starter next year, they're going to be starting somewhere else in the league.
Yeah, no, it's good. All right, I want to hit high school real quick. High school basketball teams are running around. I was with Sean Jimenez the other day. Cleveland's in San Diego. By the way, he can hit a golf ball now. I watched his whole game is pretty good. The head basketball coach at Cleveland High School, but they're taking this trip. They're in San Diego this week. You got these teams playing in tournaments. How important do you gauge these things? These summer tournaments, getting out and playing different, and sometimes better competition as teams mature and grow over the summer.
Well, first, you just got to get in Sean's head, and then he'll start spraying that driver right, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, he pumps that thing. It's straight and deep. He did throw it right on 18, but the wind was blowing pretty bad.
I think there's going to be the teams that are traveling together, like Sean's group now in San Diego, and a lot of teams that travel together. They're going to have a leg up when it comes to team chemistry next season, right? The fact that talked again about ABC prep earlier, a lot of guys playing over there during the summer. So the guys that are together with their teammates right now traveling, I do think that means something. The chemistry, the bond you can build during the off season, it's important. So yeah, those things are important, Jeff. They're gonna really benefit some of these teams.
Yeah, now the APS teams can do it, right? Now they're able to go out and do it as well, and they weren't always able to do that in the past, so it's good. For the record, I'm pretty sure I did get your boss on the golf course the other day too. So.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Oh yeah, he's in a little bit of a slump, and he's it's getting to him, I think.
Yeah, he didn't like that. So, all right, appreciate it. You got Gladiators Saturday, right?
Yeah, well, they get the defending champions, Massachusetts Pirates, are in town, so come check that out. They've made some nice additions. They got some pregame fireworks now inside. They got these laser light show thing they did at halftime. It was like if JJ was there, it was like we were in the club at halftime.
It was. They got a good thing going at the Rio Rancho Event Center. It's
beautiful.
Absolutely.
All right, he's the voice of the people. Appreciate your time, Sebastian Noel. Be well. We'll talk to you next week.
Be good, guys.
See you. Back to the phones when we get back. I know you can respond to anything you heard there. His thoughts on Saban. We got the phones ringing. You have thoughts on Nick Saban's comments as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Need to hire?
You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit
the sports animal.
All right, John Rothstein reported it about a little over 2 hours ago. He said Jalen House of the Lobos has told him that he is Jalen, taking his name out of the NBA draft and returning to the University of New Mexico. Big news.
Back to the
for this
house.
coming year. So
The
it's a
pit.
big deal. 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Daniel, good morning. Thanks for holding. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. What's happening?
You know, just real quick on that Saban thing. I don't think it mattered. You know, I don't think it. I think really he just uses the media to talk to the boosters. I don't think that information he given was for the media or for the players. He just needs his boosters to keep up. You know, it's more money for the boosters. And again, whether it's the old way before the portal, before the NIL, even with money coming in, I still think the players are getting the short end of the stick, because you can go on Rivals or 24/7 Sports, and they have a top 100 list of the transfer players who still yet to find a home, and you know they're going to be without a degree. It's not a good look to transfer multiple times. It almost looks like it's kind of a you problem. And I know they're using relationships with coaches, but as far as the NIL thing goes, I think it's going to have to, because there's a rookie cap in the, in the NFL. I think somehow, some way, the conferences are going to have to come together. They're going to have to somehow put a cap on it, and just to, it's not about fairness, because, I don't want to quote another guy, Stephen A. Ferris, where he judged pigs, but you got to have some sort of, even if it's like light security, you got to have some
There's got to be
sort
guardrails.
of,
There's got to be guardrails. There's got to be some parameters.
yes, exactly. There's got to be, even if, there's gray area, you got to have some sort of security. And again, I feel bad for the athletes, because people's getting in their ear and they're thinking, oh, this place might be better than this place. And, every year high school seniors are going to keep coming on and coming on, and you might be a really good sophomore or junior, but you're going to be left behind with no degree. I hate to sound old school, but, and no real shot at the NFL, after that. And again, you really should just try to grow with the college you signed with in the first place. And
Daniel, I appreciate it. It's actually a really good point, and thank you for the call. So a couple things. There's a difference between NIL and the transfer portal, but are they tied? All right, you want to take Rudy before the break? All right, Rudy, you got about 2 minutes. What's up?
2 minutes. Well, good for Jalen going out and exploring, and people to say he can't play in the NBA. I guess Muggsy Bogues couldn't play in the NBA.
He was all right.
Height is the biggest discriminator there is out there, because you can't measure a person's heart. So good for Jalen. He tested the waters, and more than anything, he got feedback, right?
100%.
That's good.
Yeah.
So and this whole NIL thing, it went off the rails as soon as it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is trying to rein something in after it's out is going to be really tough. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but, even the NFL, the bastion of free enterprise, has salary caps and other things to keep teams kind of competitive or within that framework. So, yeah, I guess if it comes to pass, what's going to happen is those schools will break away because they have so much money and clout, but who are they going to play, Jeff?
Well, it's
Each other?
really interesting, the whole conversation. We'll have an SEC-only playoff. Oh, okay. Great.
It's not going to get any traction nationwide. People want to see nationwide football. They don't want to see regional football.
Well,
that's never worked. So
the argument
they got
is,
to work it out.
The argument is how many of the college football championship games have been all SEC? Well, but yeah, you got there going through Oklahoma and Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Anyway, looking forward to our tournament coming up here on the 20th. It's nice to get together with the board
coming
once
quick.
a year.
Yeah, coming quick.
Yep.
So, all right, I'll talk to you this week. Thanks.
Take care.
See you. What do you think of that whole SEC-only playoff, by the way, conversation?
I don't think it's...
It doesn't happen,
a
right?
legit conversation?
I don't think it helps anybody. I don't know how it helps them. I just don't know how it helps them. Javon Williamson's going to be with us coming up at 9:30. UNM track and field. It's the NCAA championships are coming up. And this is one of a number of athletes who qualified. Looking forward to talking to the Harvard transfer who came to UNM and has put up some terrific times. So we'll do that at 9:30 this morning. When we come back, the LIV golf tournament, the whole Phil Mickelson. Oh, well, he's not playing, but there's a really big name who is. That's this week. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, Adrienne. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands
like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is The Opening Drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
All right, a little breaking news for you this morning. Lobel basketball fans, you will certainly be interested. Today is the day, JJ, was it 10 o'clock tonight, midnight Eastern time? That players who were in the NBA draft have to decide they're in or they're out. And Jalen House, a Lobel guard, obviously has been a major concern to you. And John Rothstein, about 2.5 hours ago, maybe 3 now, because it was, at 6:10 a.m., which is incredibly appropriate, by the way, John Rothstein tweeted that Jalen House told him, John Rothstein, that he, Jalen House, is taking his name out of the NBA draft and returning to the University of New Mexico for this coming year. So great news for Lobel basketball that Jalen House will be back. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. Talk a lot about college football. Nick Saban, what he had to say yesterday. Expecting Jimbo Fisher to speak today in Destin. Maybe he already has. But we'll hear from him, and you're commenting quite a bit on it. And you're like everybody else. Yep, there's an issue, but what are we going to do about it? Jay, good morning to you. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you gentlemen this morning?
Good. What's happening?
Nothing much. So thank you for taking my call, first of all. But so just in answer to Rudy's question, who would they play? Truth is they would play each other.
That's right.
And I mean, that's always kind of the argument, and this is an unpopular take. This is going to be an unpopular take in this market, but the truth is when Alabama schedules New Mexico State, that's just New Mexico State is fodder for their fans to come in and enjoy the day, etc. But when Ohio State plays Oregon, that's to build the national profile of Oregon and Ohio State for that season.
I don't think anybody disputes that.
Pardon?
I don't think anybody disputes that.
Right. So they'll in other words, they'll find people to play. It's not that, oh my God, we won't be able to play anybody in the group of 5. What are we going to do? They'll find teams to play.
That's right.
So it's the thing that I always go back to is in those places, college football matters. Okay, in markets like this, college football, there's not necessarily the appetite for college football here as there is elsewhere.
Yep.
And all you have to do is go to a Lobo game in November when it's 62 degrees out and nice, and there's 7,000 people in the stands.
Correct.
So that's on us as a group of 5 market. That's not on Nick Saban. That's not on this, on the Power 5, etc. There is, and yes, and I know I hear the call coming. I hear it. Well, the team needs to be better. Absolutely, the program needs to be better. But there's this symbiosis that has to happen where the fans have to be better as well as the team. And I know there's going to be the people that say,
what comes
well,
first?
I'm not, right, what comes first? Or I am not a football fan, I am a basketball fan. or I am, that they will feel like there is a cutoff. I'm a fan of the university, but I'm only a fan of this program.
Because I'm going to be cheating on basketball if I support football.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, all of those programs are in it together.
That's right.
Okay? So when the football program can get 30,000 people, guess what the basketball program can do? The basketball program, instead of getting Iona in the pit, the basketball program can go out and build its national profile by playing a one-off game at Texas or at Duke.
I can do both.
Yeah. And not have to get 1-and-1s, which nobody in college basketball is doing anyway anymore. So if you're trying to build your profile by doing home and homes as a mid-major, that's it's not going to happen for you. So anyway, thank you for the time, gentlemen. That's my thought.
Appreciate you. Thanks, Jay.
You have a great rest of your day.
Look, if the SEC does their own playoff, it doesn't mean that they're still not going to pay New Mexico State $1.5 million to go play them in November or in September. They're going to just do their own playoff. I just don't think it's going to happen that way. I just don't think. And what would they be the national champion, or would the teams who compete for national championship be the national champion, or would they just say, well, we're the best league anyway because we've always been the best league? And so I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think. I think this is a little bit hyperbole here.
I think there's a lot hyperbole. It's you're shrinking your market share
100%
for the SEC, and is ESPN still going to want to pay that much money when there's no crossover appeal? It's like, yeah, you're all in an SEC football, but at the end, you have your 4-team playoff. And are you really going to be able to get that same amount of money just watching however many SEC teams
They think so. They seem to think so.
Play each other, and that's it.
Yeah, they sure seem to think so. It'd almost be like, the second best league in the world. Ray, good morning to you.
How's it going, guys?
Good, Ray. What's up?
Not much. I was going to say I wouldn't want to watch them play each other twice. They play each other during the year, and then if they play each other in the conference championship, and then they go back and play in the national championship, it could be 2-3 times.
That's enough.
I think that's ridiculous. But I think for that, for the paying the players, I'm all for it. But I think what they should do is they should sign with the college first, then you go ahead and get the money or whatever from the sponsorship. That's where I think that's what would eliminate
the
a lot
problem
of
is how you
things.
going to do that. Yeah, how do you because every kid's asking now, well, what's my NIL deal? And how are you? The fact that these collectives are theoretically separate from the university, how do you not have that conversation during recruiting?
Yeah, that's true too. But I don't think any people ain't going to jump the gun. They're going to let it go the way it is right now. But you watch when you get one of these juniors in high school that signs early with the team, and then he ends up signing with that team because they're paying him, and he's still in high school. Then there's going to be a big problem. What's going to stop them from doing that now? That's what I wanted to ask you guys.
It's coming.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's coming. Thanks, Ray. It's coming. Yeah,
Well, and there's also going to be hard business lessons learned in this, in that not everyone's going to have the same deal. You're going to have the best players on the team making more money than the other players. There's going to be some people on the team that aren't even making it. But then you have to also say, deal with it. If you want to take a step forward and say the previous model is broken, we need to be more professional based, that's going to be life. And you're going to have hurt feelings. You're going to have to get over it. If you want to be in that world, those are the things you're going to have to deal with. And also for these players, to his point, say you're the high schooler, you start maybe taking some money, people in your ear, like, yeah. Well, then what if your decision changes? You can give that money back. Who's coming for that money? When you're like, oh, wait a second, you were supposed to be going to Texas A&M, and now you want to go to Alabama? All right, son, now send me back that check.
And this is what we're doing. We're doing what everybody's doing, and what you're accusing us of doing, and that's fine. We're coming up with all these scenarios that will happen.
Yeah.
And here's the issue. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. And none of us have solutions.
The only way to solve it is to bring a salary cap and a budget into collegiate athletics. And how do you do that?
Because who is they?
Because then it goes from NIL to a salary cap. Because right now you can look at NIL and still kind of classify it as endorsements.
What if somehow there was a check on, you have to do something. So you have to perform a service for your NIL money. And it can't be, here's $1 million for a tweet.
Why?
What do you mean why?
But what? Because that's so much social media. It's just a tweet. It's a video.
So
like that's their advertising.
But there's got to be my point is there'd be a market value placed on it. Well, but how do you put a market value on that person to that person to that person? That person's got 1 million followers. That person has 1,000. So, yeah, look, man, this thing's gotten away and everybody's spinning. But I think just to say you've got to be able to perform a duty for your NIL money. That would at least bring it to the intent of what it was created to do. Here we are.
But with these collectives, it's really not representing one business.
Correct. No, 100%
and
right.
So they just
100%.
They don't. And so that's not on their minds.
Yeah.
It's not Joe's Roofing Company. It's just,
I thought it was Jack. If you're not using Jack's Roofing, you don't know Jack. Oh, different guy? Different roofing company. You haven't seen that one? Jack and his dancers. Yeah. It's Jack something and Jack's your roofer. I want to be your roofer if you're not using Jack's Roofing Company or whatever. You don't know Jack. You haven't seen that one?
No.
Come on. It's a great local jingle.
Right now?
Yes, current.
Okay. See, and that's what people thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was like, we got you covered. I'm Terry Wilson.
So, okay. Go use Joe's Roofing Company. I do. It keeps my head dry.
But when there's collectives, what are you telling them they have to do if they're just pulling a bunch of money together?
And who are you? I know. Yeah. All right, I'm going to tell you the big name going to the big LIV or the Live Golf Tour. And it's not Phil Mickelson. That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Registration.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Cheese is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
All right, for those, and I'll hit you with this at the top of each segment because I know our audience. If you've already heard it, I'm not going to apologize to you, but certainly people filtering in and out throughout the day. According to John Rothstein of CBS Sports, Jalen House is returning to the Lobos for this season. Today is the deadline to declare or put your name out for the NBA draft, and Rothstein tweeted this morning that Jalen House told John Rothstein that Jalen House is pulling his name out of the NBA draft and is going to return to the Lobos for this season. It's a big deal for UNM. And I think we anticipated that, but probably until there was some closure to that, you probably had some trepidation. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, it's the opening drive, 95.9 FM, and AM 610, these sports animals. So good news for Lobo basketball. All right, this first Live Golf Invitation Series event, the Saudi-funded other golf tournament, will be played outside of London coming up soon. There are more than a dozen PGA Tour players. Phil Mickelson not listed in the field for this first event. So the 6-time major champion absent from that field. But there's some big names now. And 2-time major champion, former number 1 in the world, Dustin Johnson, is in this field. He said, look, man, I got no problem with the PGA, but I'm going to try this. Quote, I feel it's now time to put such speculation to rest. I'm fully committed to the PGA Tour. I'm grateful for the opportunity to play on the best tour in the world and for all it's provided me and my family. End quote, but he's going to go play in this tour. So Sergio, Kevin Na, Louis Oosthuizen, Ian Poulter, Charles Schwartzel, Lee Westwood.
Dustin handled it the right way.
I think that's right.
He didn't chase the extra money to pump the tour, which someone's got to do it. And it was Phil Mickelson. And he's just playing, and no one was like bashing DJ. Just comes out that he's on the list. You're like, oh, he can do that?
Yeah, he's going to go play.
And he can come back and still play in the PGA Tour?
Well, it's going to be interesting, right? Because the commissioner said, nope, we're not giving you an exempt. Well, now what are you going to do? You're not going to welcome Dustin Johnson back? Is that right? Let's see how that plays.
And it is surprising to see Phil Mickelson not listed.
When do we see him? When do we see him again?
Felt like this was supposed to be when we saw him because he wasn't playing and or speaking because of his obligations. So we assumed. So what are we supposed to assume now?
Yeah. 505-246-0610. Terry, good morning.
Good morning to y'all. Happy hump day. I know yesterday at the end, it got very serious, very dark. Just real quick on the Heat and Celtics, I think it would have been a PR nightmare not to give the award to Jason Tatum since it was the first year named the Larry Bird Award and a Celtic team won. And Jimmy Butler did have 3 great games. The Heat did win Game 3 with him only scoring 6 points, but Power to him. He played hurt. He played hard. That's been the way Jimmy Butler's been for his career. So from that thing moving on, who knows? Finals. I got relatives that like the Celtics. I got relatives that like the Warriors. I hope it's entertaining. I was glad from a discussion that it was close, so we could have different sides of that. From the issue yesterday, just a little bit. College female athletes are drug tested, so the fact of they want fairness. I listened to Leah Thomas. Like I said, I want her to be happy, a good person, but I still don't think they should be able to compete because a lot of people who become transgender aren't athletes, and so be it. But for fairness, not to put you on the spot, but I will anyway, Jeff. Would you want Addie competing against that situation? Because it's one, if you're running or swimming, you're just doing a time. But if you're out on a field and health, besides just the competitive balance, health could become also an issue with somebody plowing into somebody from that end. I always love to go the NIL. I think it's great that the kids are getting money. I don't think it's ever been equitable. I mean, you just take away sports. If you're offered just a scholarship to be an engineering student, and I'll throw KU in there, UNM, KU, Duke. Who's getting the so-called best education? Duke by far. But when it comes to sports, they're considering everything equal for the last 50 or 100 years. So when we want it to be equal, fine. For the gentleman who said all players should stay, well, there was no big deal when Francis and a couple other guys left the basketball team. So it's like, well, you should stay if we want you to stay, but if we want you to leave, go away. So we all can be hypocrites and all that. So we plug along on that standpoint. So from money, now super seniors also. Power to the super seniors. UNM women's basketball's got 2 or 3 come staying. That means other ladies are not getting scholarships. So when it benefits you, it's fine. It's well within the rules, the super senior rule. Mitch Lightfoot, I think, started at KU when Reagan was president and just finished his career. Yeah. So, from every advantage, disadvantage. So when the best don't get what they want, too bad. So players, my son got at least one check. He was supposed to get a second, but I don't think we did the paperwork when Ed O'Bannon sued the EA Sports or whatnot. So kids get some for a while, and then they can have their regs. But you guys have a great middle of the week. Take care. Love the show. Be safe.
Thanks.
Bye.
I know you have something to say.
Well, I understand when we're talking about something needs to be done and everyone's screaming, well, what's this? What's that? Right now, you have to embrace it. Because to me, I think the world that we sit in right now, you can benefit more so than you ever have as a New Mexico State with a collective. The fact that you can keep and attract players with talent because of NIL deals. Because right now, your entire basketball team isn't transferring to a college just because of NIL deals, because there's also still the playing time element involved. So certain sports, in this case, forefront in this state is going to be men's basketball, can absolutely cash in right now because there are people willing to step up with collectives. Now, I think what the NCAA needs to figure out is absolutely what do you do in those year increments. It's on the NIL to figure out, all right, this goes from this date to that date. First, I think that they're going to be year to year as well, saying, all right, well, you'll endorse us, or we'll endorse you for this specific calendar year. The transfers, you get 1 transfer, but then you get 2 if you graduate. Well, congratulations. If you actually finish and graduate, good on you. I think it's after that it is really the waiver process, because there's been so much pressure before the 1 quote unquote free transfer to grant all these waivers for immediate eligibility. You're sorting through 2 different things at once that make it look so much worse. And some kids are going to be left on the outside looking in because not every decision is going to be the right decision.
Yeah. I'm gonna change course on you. Just horrible news I just got Former New Mexico State golfer who has had a wonderful, wonderful pro career, Bart Bryant, died in a car accident yesterday. Bart has been a great Aggie, great alum. He waited 2 decades to get his first win on the PGA Tour. He had all kinds of injuries and trips to Q school. Actually beat Tiger Woods to win one of his 3 championships. But he died in a car accident. He was 59 years old. This was yesterday. The PGA Tour put out a statement this morning that they're, quote, saddened by the tragic passing of Bart Bryant. Our hearts go out to his family and friends during this difficult time. The Bryants have been a part of the PGA Tour family for over 4 decades. We're grateful for the impact and legacy he made on our organization and countless communities. Bart will be dearly missed. He was 41 years old. He had 6 starts remaining on a major medical extension, and he won Valero. He won the Players Championship. He won the Memorial. He had been playing. One of those Aggie alums that have been out there for a long time, and you hear his name. And I remember a couple of times when he was on the leaderboard, and when I was doing TV sports. But I just got this story and it just hit. Bart Bryant, 3 PGA Tour victories, former Aggie, passed away, 50, what did I just tell you? 59 years old. Car accident yesterday. And so our condolences go out to the Aggie family and certainly to Bart Bryant's family as well. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk track and field. The NCAA championships are coming up. 14 Lobos. 14 going to the NCAA championships. We'll talk to one of them, Jovan Williamson, a sprinter, next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I'd like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Eugene, Oregon, NCAA Track and Field Championships, and the University of New Mexico will be very well represented. 11 Lobos will be there, earned their way to the NCAA Track and Field Championships. 7 women and 4 men. One of the men who will be competing is going to be competing in 2 events, the 400 meters and the 4x400. He is a transfer from Harvard and spending his graduate season here at Elevation running sprints. How does that help? I'm looking forward to having a conversation with Javon Williamson, who joins us this morning on the opening drive. Good morning, Javon. You're on with Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
We're well, thank you. First off, congratulations on getting there. I got to believe this is a goal when you start every season, getting to the NCAAs. How was the league meet? And talk about what it felt like to realize, all right, I'm qualified. I'm going to the national meet.
Yeah, definitely. We've been talking about, going to Eugene since first day of practice back in September. It's been, it's been a tough season, a lot of up and downs, but at the first round regionals, we just locked in. Everybody was firing, and we did our thing there. And shout out to all my other teammates, Javon, Victor, Rivaldo. He's also qualified in 400 as well. So big time for him, big PRs all season. And yeah, it's been a great season so far.
You ran a personal best, 45.39. So for people who aren't familiar with the 400, it's one lap around the track. It's essentially a quarter mile. So 45.39 seconds, a personal best. What was on that day? How did you just feel like you had something that day? Is it a day-to-day thing? Talk about that specific race.
Well, yeah, throughout the day, I was just thinking about the race most of the time. I knew I had to run fast to give myself a chance to qualify. So I was just kind of locked in the whole day, through visualizing the race, and just making sure I was firing on all cylinders by the time the gun went off. So, when the race started, I just kind of blocked everything out and just ran my race, and that was the result. So I'm very happy about that.
Javon, when you're on the track, and we're talking tenths of a second, the difference between finishing in first, second, third, where do you find that extra time in the track? How do you get that extra tenth of a second that's needed to advance in a race like that?
That's just through training, to be honest. Every tenth of a second at 400 is so important, and that just goes through training throughout the fall, winter, throughout the indoor season, outdoor season. Like, you got to put in the work in the weight room, work on the track, and you can see the tenth of seconds fall. So all that comes from like the 9 months we've been grinding in the fall, winter, spring. Just being consistent and giving it all every time you step on the track. So that's where it kind of comes from.
And Javon, when you look at your time at Harvard, now at the University of New Mexico, what stood out about UNM, and this is a place that you wanted, to finish your collegiate career and make a run at it at?
Well, last 2 seasons, I kind of lost my track seasons at Harvard. So once I graduated, I wanted to look for a program where I thought that I would be in the best position to succeed and to improve my time than to advance this far into the team. So looking at New Mexico, I saw the great group of guys we were having. I saw the great coach and the facility they had, and I thought that this would be a great place for me to come and try to see what I can do on the track. So that kind of drove me to here.
He's Lobo graduate senior Javon Williamson with us on the opening drive. He's going to the NCAA championships in 2 events next week in Eugene. You know, we always hear from distance athletes about coming to altitude and training at altitude and what it means. What about for sprinters? And I think 400 is still considered a sprint, although it's such a tough race. What does it do for you guys for training here? And then, I mean, when did you really notice? I'm going to guess maybe your first run, you noticed the difference in altitude.
Oh yeah, from the first day I got here, I noticed the big altitude difference. You know, I'm from New York, so we're basically at sea level, and coming here was just a major adjustment for me. Definitely the first month or two of practice was really tough with that, just getting used to the breathing and getting used to everything else that comes with altitude. I think over time, as our body adapted to it, we really felt the difference going back to sea level. How it was just so much easier to breathe and to warm up at tracks we go to. And I think it's not as well. It's not as significant as maybe like you would find at a distance event. I think there's still some benefits I had with that additional boost from sprinting as well, especially on the 400.
Why the 400, man? It's such a tough race. The 400. I mean, for people, it is a quarter-mile sprint. How'd you stumble into that, and that became your race?
Oh, I stumbled to this race way back in high school. I was just doing track for fun, trying to find out what I was good at, and I guess one day I just did a 400, and I guess I did really well. So I thought that I could probably find the most success with that event. So I stuck with it throughout all this time, and here I am now.
Yeah. What next? So you graduated Harvard, and here you are doing graduate school here, and you use up your eligibility in athletics. What's for you after this track season?
After this track season, you know, I want to finish out strong, see what happens in Eugene. After that, I have another year of eligibility left in New Mexico, so I plan to use that as well.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. No, that's big. So you come here. Talk about the program here and the history of track and field. And every time we have a track and field athlete come on, they always talk about Coach Franklin. They talk about the culture. And obviously, when you look at the roster, it's not only from all over the country, it's all over the world. People are coming to the University of New Mexico. What is it about that track and field program that's really attracting people from everywhere?
I think it's just their long history of excellence. People come here, they see they're running with a whole bunch of All-Americans, and just hearing people talk about being All-American, going to nationals, which is just like, it kind of seeps into you as well, that you wanna like join them in that commitment, that journey to being excellent in your event, respectively. So I feel like people are drawn to that. People are drawn to the culture of working hard, finding success in their sport. So
lastly,
people from all over.
Yeah. Lastly, how's New Mexico been? I'm a kid from New York who went to Harvard, who comes out here. It's a different world. How's it been to you?
It's definitely been an adjustment period. Very different from what I'm used to. But I embrace the change. I'm open to it. So it's been really great learning about culture here, the history here, and adjusting to the environment as well. So I think it's been a great adjustment so far.
Good. Well, Jovan, congratulations on all the success. Best of luck to you next week and all the rest of Lobos as you go up to Eugene, and we'll catch up with you at some point later, but have fun up there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Be well. Jovan Williamson going to the NCAA championships in Eugene. I always wonder, right, the distance runners always tell you that. Oh, yeah, it's we come up there, we train. The sprinters, and I think the 400 is still a sprint, right? I mean, do you guys ever run the 400? Do you ever do track?
Not competitively.
I mean, I got in a lane.
It's
so hard. So I was fill-in lane guy. Like, I pole vaulted. That was my thing. I pole vaulted.
I did high jump and long jump at El Dorado.
All right.
I didn't.
So you never filled the lane. So I was a pole vaulter. I shot putted. I high jumped. And then so you could do 4. So I was fill-in a lane guy. So I filled in on the 300 hurdles, which is, I think that's the toughest event in track. 300 hurdles. Would run a 200 and go and ran that thing once, and it was brutal, because it's a quarter-mile sprint.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for those guys. But yeah, the time that he ran was Mountain West record too, so it's pretty good. 11 Lobos will be going to the NCAA championships. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Plenty of time for you to still get in on any of the stuff we talked about. Again, Jalen House, according to John Rothstein, is coming back for Lobo basketball this year, and that's a good news there. The text line says, "Rest in peace, Bart Bryant. Small world. Bart and my wife both graduated from Alamogordo High School in 1981. Sad day." Yep, an Alamogordo guy, a New Mexico State guy. Bart Bryant passed away yesterday in a car accident. 59 years old, the former Aggie, three-time winner on the PGA Tour, and that's tragic news. All right, we'll wrap it up with you when we get back on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop.
Smooth as ever. On 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
All right, so we got some horrible news today on Bart Bryant. The former Aggie passed away in a car accident. Pro golfer, three-time winner on the PGA Tour, Alamogordo High School. Condolences to Aggie Nation and the Bryant family. Good news for Lobo fan in regards to on-the-court basketball. John Rothstein sent out a tweet this morning, a little after 6 a.m. our time. The Jalen House, the Lobo guard, is going to take his name out of the NBA draft and will return for Lobo basketball this year. So that's a big deal.
Huge.
A caller called in during the break and wanted to know who was the source for the Jalen House news.
John Rothstein, CBS Sports.
CBS Sports.
Yeah, and he's kind of the basketball college. I mean, who do you respect? Who
He's
breaks more
on that
stuff?
list.
He's on the list.
Yeah, he's at the top of the breaking news stuff, and you trust in college basketball, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's who the source was on that. What were you going to say? No, never mind. I thought. Okay. Grady says cognitive dissonance. NIL collective detectives of the OD and the AM. So the problem is that NIL is out of control, ? Meaning that particular collectives paying NIL monies can pay unlimited NIL salaries, correct? Players can be bought unfairly, so then we want them to be able to be bought fairly? How's this problem any different than Chemistry Whiz choosing Cal versus MIT? Because Cal's research facilities can pay her $50,000 stipend to do research, and MIT only $25,000. The NCAA, and therefore their membership college and university presidents, bought into this amateur athlete model for decades. And they thought NIL was a way to appease the ever-growing voices that college athletes should be paid. I agree with the Grand Poobah, the voice of the people. Saban's comments reflect his frustration with an unplanned element creeping into his dominance of college football. I don't think the sky is falling and that a solution needs to be presented. Collectives will find the max they're willing to pay in a particular market, as well as some will break new ground and find ways to differentiate themselves, i.e. being in film and TV-heavy markets that allow athletes to build their brands and their NILs by appearing in movies and national TV. But I digress. I think trying to regulate other people's money in the name of fairness is a fool's errand. Not to mention, I don't really think there's a problem at all, unless you count people not wanting to see the players make a lot of money. Boston in 7. I'm a Warriors fan, but I can't ignore the fact that the Warriors, aren't what they used to be. Curry and Clay's shooting percentages are normal. Boston plays great defense and can and will disrupt the Warriors in more than a game or two. The X factor, in my opinion, is the fact that Boston can score enough points to keep them in every game, something that no other team so far has been able to do against the Warriors. My cognitive dissonance is at Crusher level. Enjoying the downgraded evacuation status in the Village, Grady, and Santa Fe by way of UNM. Okay. He says there's no problem. All the people are saying a problem. Everybody in college athletics says there's no problem. Using a really horrible analogy, let the fire rage. Okay? I mean, that's certainly a point of view. Let it go, man. Let everybody spend and spend and spend, and there does not need to be any regulation. Let it go.
Well, the regulation is just you're getting beat by someone. Because if the it's not the university's money.
That's right. That's right.
Like, this is one time the university's like, whew, this ain't out of our budget.
Hmm?
And yes, there's always going to be those that have more than others.
In everything.
In everything. But last time I checked, I didn't see all the good players in Mountain West flock somewhere because of NIL deals. Like, there's still an element of, can you get something plus playing time?
Mm-hmm.
And that does matter.
Hondo says, I disagree with JJ. Jeff, I don't think we can automatically assume the best players are going to get the most money. About 20 years ago, I was watching Anna Kournikova, who was a marginal tennis player, but because of the way she looked, she was raking in the NIL money. And the match commentator was Martina Navratilova, who was so jealous she was green. She might have been the best player ever, but didn't get a fraction of that money. What's going to happen when you have a lacrosse team, for example, that has a girl on the bench that's a little bombshell and gets a lot of social media attention, thus cleans up the NIL money, yet the starters who might not have the same following don't get peanuts? What is that going to do to the locker room, team morale? It's from Hondo.
It's called the Cavendish sisters.
I was
happening right now.
Just going there. They left Fresno State. They landed at Miami. They have a huge social media presence. I don't think they're that hot, but they're social media influencers. They're attractive, blonde women who have done very, very well on social media, have huge followings, and left Fresno State and got a lot of NIL money. It's in Miami, right?
Yes.
They're not.
They were raking it. They already had like $1 million deal at Fresno State.
Yeah, they're good players. I don't know that I think they're going to be great in the ACC. They're good players.
Yes, that's a huge thing. Heather Dyke brought that up to us, UNM women's soccer coach, saying that's going to be
What'd she say?
A challenge for women's sports. The fact that they're going to be judged differently than the men. Absolutely, that's an issue. The best players in the men's sports are going to get the most money. The women's sports, looks are going to factor in. Like, that's
how do you counter that? I mean, that's society.
They know it's coming. Heather knows it's coming. She's not happy, but she's like, I don't know how to change that. Like, it's going to happen at some universities. It's already happening.
So is everything going through a collective, or to your point, we continue to use Joe's Roofing Company?
Mm-hmm.
Can Joe's Roofing Company cut their own deal with a UNM soccer player? And I guess
we just saw it. Sadie's.
Yeah.
Partnered with Jaden Edwards.
Okay.
UNM women's soccer. They don't know what necessarily she's doing, but she's representing Sadie's, and she has that opportunity. So yeah, that
did not go through the collective.
I don't believe so.
Not that it should have to.
But what you're saying is the simple side of it is still there. Like, oh, there's a student athlete. I have a company. Let's do an endorsement.
Joe's Roofing Company could go to a women's soccer game and stand there and look at the sideline and go, wow, she doesn't play, but I like the way she looks. I want her to help me sell roofs. Or is that roofs? Is it roofs or roofs?
Roofing.
Okay, I'll go with that. And he can absolutely do that. And to Heather's point, she might not even play, but A, she looks good, and she's going to look good in my commercial or on my social media. And wow, she's got a pretty good social media following. And yeah, 100%. And that's, you know what though? To his point, that happened a long time ago. The Anna Kournikova thing is a great example of that. Anna Kournikova was a good, never great player. She was beautiful. She was a model, and dudes wanted to watch her play. I mean, it's that. So is there, Amory, is there a male athlete that is good but not great, but is it Jimmy Garoppolo that I want to watch him play? He's so handsome. He's good but not great, but I'll watch him because, well, he looks so good. Is it Jimmy Garoppolo?
What does he do? Subway? What does he do?
He does Subway. Yeah, but would we say?
No, yes. You're talking about the attractiveness.
Yeah. I'm just trying to draw a male female.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a male.
And who is it? That everybody, oh my gosh, she's so hot.
Male.
I mean, there's a ton of male athletes. Okay, the silence is I'll move.
I'm trying to think who's not like great but really good looking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of them, I would think, but it feels like it's that way in female sports. So it's going to happen. All right, did I get all these in? Gus says, Ice Hopes have to score. What was the score last night? Did you do the game?
I think it was 7, 8.
They got beat.
Yes. We only scored 3 runs.
He says you need to put 8 to 10 points in the
There's-
scorebooks before the game for them to have a chance, since they have so much trouble getting stops on defense. They're not going to win a lot of 3-2 games.
Yeah, I was going to say defense. The second inning was rough.
Was it?
Scored majority of their runs. Grand slam by Sugar Land.
Sugar Land's their kryptonite. Sid says Eldrick T. Woods is finished, Mr. Symbieta. As you know, one of the things I've been consistent about since listening to the show, beginning way back in 2009, often to strong disagreement, is Eldrick T. Woods would never win another major. Okay, I was one major off, Sid. Sid says he's done. What convinced Sid all of a sudden that he's done now? Anything happen? Did I miss something?
I'm like, that's interesting timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire off Tiger Woods' email.
What happened today? What happened yesterday? What did I miss on Tiger?
He wasn't on the Live Golf Tour announcement.
Hey, is today the Aaron Rodgers, Brady, wasn't it June 1st?
Is it this weekend, I believe?
No, it's today.
Oh, it's
It's
today?
today?
Oh, man.
Shows how much people care about this one.
I care. I thought it was this weekend. I don't know. I think I'm
You
done
would've
out by
missed
the
it.
holiday weekend.
So what
well,
time
thanks for reminding
is
me.
it? Is it got to be, what, like 3 in the afternoon? What time's it on?
I believe 4:30 our time.
Oh, I'm watching it.
Damn right. Are they going, how many holes? They're not going the full 18, though, right?
12.
So hokey.
It has to be.
You're not going to watch?
Well, I ain't
Let's
sitting
go,
around
Team
6
Mahomes.
hours watching these guys. Like that other one.
Are you watching?
Let's go,
Are you
Josh
gonna
and
watch?
Patrick.
So you're on the Young Guns?
Yes, of course I am.
Why? Because you hate Tom Brady, or you hate Aaron Rodgers so much?
Yes, and then the other half of my household.
What do you mean? He hates Tom Brady?
Tom Brady. Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, well, hate who you hate.
Just kidding. I just, you know, I
Who you
want
got?
the Young Guns to win.
I'm on the
Tom's
old
talking
dude.
a lot of smack.
I'm on the old
He's
dudes.
allowed to.
I'm on the old dudes. They win.
You want them to win,
That's
or
who I'm
they're going to
picking.
win?
That's who I'm picking.
And that's who you want?
Thanks to Sebastian Noel, Javon Williamson. They were both with us today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Coward follows that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. Then you get Isotopes Baseball. They are in Sugar Land to play the Space Cowboys. Adrian, great work. A-Marie, terrific. I mean, I'm just spectacular. I would never bring out the gong on you.
Thanks.
Still pisses me off. Big day today?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with award-winning radio. Please be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way